Dangerous. Anton scooped up the last morsel and rose to leave. "Thanks for lunch," he called as he slipped back out between the boards. But not for the advice, he thought, narrowing his eyes. Cecil was good at many things, hunting and stealing and muscling his way through. But every cat couldn't be like Cecil, and every cat didn't need to hear about it. As Anton rounded the bend in the lighthouse path, he looked out upon the busy port of his home village. The harbor, full of stately tall ships resting at anchor, resembled a forest of leafless trees. Ships with masts as tall as houses, their spars stretching like arms out past the massive hulls, bobbed at anchor as far as the eye could see. The big brigs and three-masted barks in which humans sailed the world plowed toward the docks from the open sea, slow and ponderous as elephants, while the smaller fishing schooners, quick as rabbits, darted into the harbor at dawn, returning in the evening loaded down with hills of shivering silver fish, lobsters as big as platters, nets heaped with oysters, mussels, and clams. The brightly painted shops and houses of the town, built in tiers on a steep slope, looked down upon the waterfront like an audience eager to see a show. And what a show it was, from dawn to dusk. When the tall ships sailed into the harbor, past the breakwater and up to the docks, many interesting things were disgorged. First came the sailors, intriguing in their own right, with their colorful scarves and sashes and boisterous manners. Then they unloaded the ship's deep hold. Out came great sacks of flour, metal pipes, wooden carriage wheels, crates of miniature trees with odd-shaped leaves, cows, goats, and sheep roped together, balking at the gangway, mooing and bleating. There were wooden barrels of all sizes, pallets laden with bales of cotton and wool, skids of bricks and lumber, cages of chickens, huge blocks of ice. All of it was in constant motion, pushed and pulled by the bustling stevedores, who plied their barrows and carts through the ranks of horse-drawn carriages on the docks, past the shouting sailors and the occasional bevy of weeping ladies there to welcome their husbands and their sons. A ceaseless chorus of noise accompanied the mayhem, shouting men, rollicking children, the joyful barking of aimless dogs, the cries of the seagulls rising in squads to circle the town or dive into the harbor, the screech of osprey, the yowling of the town's resident cats. Some of the sailors scoffed at the cats, while others gave them a kind word, or even tossed a fish too small or too bony for their own uses. The sailors were not surprised to see the cats, nor were the cats perturbed by the sailors, though they were wary of them, for good reason. But where there are sailors and ships and the sea, there are fish and mice and rats, and where there are fish and mice and rats, there are cats. It has always been so. Humans long to cross the sea, to visit strange lands and see wonders undreamed of. Cats, well, most cats, do not. Anton and Cecil were brothers, born in a cozy recess beneath the old lighthouse perched on the rocky breakwater that curves out from the harbor. Their mother, Sonia, was young when her sons were born. They were her first litter. Like her, Anton was svelte, elegant, and gray as a storm cloud. He was cautious and sensitive by nature, and picky about food. He liked to plan ahead. Cecil was black with white forepaws, a paintbrush of white at the end of his tail, and startling white whiskers. Their father was a stylish tuxedo cat from the town. He was big, beefy, goofy, and omnivorous. Cecil was curious about everything, but especially about ships and the sea. The sailors never saw enough of Anton to give him a name, but Cecil, who liked to sit on the dock in the sun, gazing at the sea like a pensive jack of spades, they called Blackjack. As kittens, the brothers were of a size, but Cecil had big paws and his fur was longer and silkier than Anton's gray coat, which took no time.